That's where we're going to get lost. The Lost Coast is where we're heading. I haven't seen a soul out here. Not one person. I very rarely wake up hungry, but I woke up hungry this morning. So first thing I want to do here is make some breakfast, something quick and easy. Got one tortilla left. So that'll do it for me. I'll make a little quick egg and cheese burrito. Probably add a little bit of Yellowbird in it too, because that is what makes it special, right? A little cheddar cheese, and then I've got a little of my second favorite hot sauce, this Yellowbird Serrano. I've been liking the jalapeno one more, and I have not been able to keep a bottle in the van for very long. I bought a bottle about 2 weeks ago, and it's already gone. And I'm almost out of this one. I bought this one last week. Well, this is one of these little tiny bottles. I bought this at Walmart. And I'm not crazy about the smaller size bottle, so I'm going to have to put Yellowbird on my list of things to get at the grocery store. But this is good for today. Yeah, just going to wash up my dishes here. And yeah, that burrito was actually pretty good. I have some pretty good eggs I found at grocery outlet. I'm always happy when I find them, but not every grocery outlet stocks them. I think they're called heirloom brand eggs or something like that. I bought them before. I'm always happy with them. They taste a lot better than just regular grocery store eggs. Let's see, now I'm going to switch over to my vinegar solution here. This is just white vinegar in a spray bottle. I usually use it on my regular dishes, and with the pan here, I find it's better just to wash it with water. I don't like to strip too much of the seasoning off of it, since it is a little bit like cast iron where you got to season it. So if I use the vinegar on it, then I've got to spend a few minutes and season it, and I don't want to do that because I want to get out of here and get going. I am in Eureka, which is a town up in Northern California, and it's a good-sized town. It's not usually the quietest place to park, being that it is kind of a bigger town. And last night was really kind of noisy. As I was just getting to sleep last night, I was hearing what I think was maybe somebody setting off fireworks. No, maybe it was something else that sounded similar to fireworks. I don't know what that would be, but yeah, it was just a couple blocks away, and yeah, you know, it wasn't the nicest way to go to sleep. It did get a little bit quieter, though, after that, at least for a few minutes. But had lots of traffic, lots of dogs barking, and I am ready for a little escape here. So I'm going to finish up my dishes, and then let's get lost. One slight problem. I'm already halfway done with my coffee. It's the one bad thing about having a small coffee mug, is you go through it quickly. And this one is half gone. I almost was thinking I'd make another cup, but let's just get moving. Well, I really am a city guy, and I am very happy to be in a city most of the time. But it does get tiring, especially when it's noisy. And last night was a little bit noisier than I really wanted it to be. So I was thinking I was going to hang around Eureka here, get some shopping done, maybe check out a coffee shop or something. But I'm just feeling like I want to get out of here. And so that's why I said a moment ago, let's get lost, because we are very close to one of my favorite places to go. And if you know me, you know what I'm hinting at when I say let's get lost. We can get lost not very far away. I do need to make one stop though. I need to get some gas. So we'll head straight to my favorite place to get gas here in Humboldt County, and then we will go get lost. So taking the long way round of getting lost this morning. There was a time where I did not enjoy this town at all. Why do we keep calling it a town? It's a city. Eureka is, I believe, the largest city in Humboldt County, which is the county I'm in. And there was a time I didn't really enjoy this city. It's got some gritty areas, let's put it that way. But over the last couple of weeks, I've really grown to, well, over the last month, I guess, I've really grown to like it here. Again, it's probably more to do with me being a city guy and being comfortable in a city environment. I happen to actually like Eureka now, which is good because there's lots of nice things about Eureka here. There's a waterfront area. The Old Town area is really nice, but we're not going to do city stuff today. We're gonna get out and definitely get lost. Well, you know, I keep saying let's get lost. I hope we don't get too lost. But we are going to a place that I have been to lots and lots before, so we probably won't get lost. Although I keep forgetting, need to get gas first. Gas definitely first. I'm under half a tank. We're just a few miles out of town and it's feeling significantly cooler. Maybe because we're under some fog and closer to the ocean. I'm liking the cooler weather. So whenever I possibly can, I try to get gas out at one of the casinos. And there's casinos on either side of the city of Eureka. This is the one I like the best because it's a little closer to the 101 freeway here. And also it's out in the direction of my favorite spots in all of Humboldt. Well, actually, should I say that? I do like Trinidad, which is north of Eureka, so now that I think about it, I have lots and lots of favorite places in Humboldt. This is just such a great place. So about a month ago, gas prices really jumped, and that has not been great for me because I've been driving a little more than I normally do. Well, a lot more than I normally do. I've been driving about 10 miles a day on average, and that's about double what I normally drive. So the increase in gas has got me kind of rethinking staying around here in Humboldt, but I really just need to get back to just staying in one spot and enjoying the area. And that's really why I've been staying in Eureka. I have everything that I need there. All the shopping is there. I just try not to get gas there, but all the shopping is there that I need. So if I can just hang around the city, I do a whole lot better. But this is a good excuse to get out today, fill up on gas, and just get some peace and quiet here. This is always a popular gas station because they have the best price in gas anywhere around. There is, like I mentioned, another casino down in the town of Blue Lake, and that one's pretty good too for gas prices. But this one is usually the one I stop at. How awful is it that the best price in the whole county is $5.40 a gallon for gas? Just crazy. I'm hoping it starts dropping down in price a little bit. I thought maybe it was high because of Labor Day, and you know they always gouge us for that, but it doesn't seem to be dropping. Try not to think about it, I guess. So now we're going to drive out to the little town of Ferndale, and we're actually just going to drive through, except I'm almost out of coffee. Looks like I have 2 sips left. So we might just make another stop, just a real quick pit stop, because of coffee, of course. What does that mean? You know, I've never actually seen hazard flashing signs here. Does that mean I'm supposed to stop? Nobody else is stopping. The truck behind me is not happy that I'm slowing down. I think it just means that there was a big fire truck. So the easiest and quickest way to get to Ferndale is across this little bridge, and this is kind of a historic bridge. It was closed for a few weeks while they assessed it after a pretty big earthquake rolled through here, just off the coast, actually, out kind of straight ahead of us. The earthquake hit. And this bridge is so old, and you can tell it's seen better days. So they did close it down for a little bit, which really caused some trouble for the people that live out here. And Ferndale's a pretty tiny town, but there are lots and lots of farms out here. This is dairy land out here. You can probably see some of the farms out off in the distance. So it caused a bit of a problem with that bridge being closed. There really is something special about this drive in. It's very pretty. I'm probably not getting the real pretty parts of it unless we stop and got out, but we're only going to make one more stop, and that's for the important thing, which is coffee, because we're going to head straight out there, kind of straight ahead. That's where we're going to get lost. The Lost Coast is where we're heading. So this is the little town of Ferndale, and the very first time I drove through Ferndale, I could not believe just how cute it is. And I've come back here many times just because I think it's just a nice, pretty little town. I have since called this the nicest town in America, and I've had a lot of people disagree with me, and I just don't understand how anybody could not think that this is a nice looking little town. Oh, one of my absolute favorite coffee shops is right here in Ferndale. So we might as well just stop in and give them a little support, because I'm out of coffee, so it's the right thing to do. Okay, I got my coffee. I ordered a latte because I can't really make a latte that easily. I can make a latte, but not that easily, so that's usually what I get when I go out. Sometimes I get 2 cups, but being that I just had a cup of my own, just going to do the one for now. Now, time to get out to the Lost Coast. Now that's the road I'd like to take. That's Mattole Road, and that takes you out to Petrolia, which is a tiny little town that's right out in the Lost Coast, but that road's a little hairy. You might be able to see it says motorhomes and trailers not advised. Some of the locals have actually told me that it's really better to have 4-wheel drive if you're going to take that road. So we're going to take this road, which is a lot nicer, a lot safer, and we'll just get our toes dipped into the Lost Coast. And no sooner did I say that it's better to have a 4-wheel drive to go up that road, I just saw a little Honda minivan drive up that road. So, you know, questioning my choices at the moment. But I think we're just going to go with the easy one here. Just do the easy one. Really sure why I'm using my blinker. There's hardly anybody else driving around out here. Well, it's a bit foggy out today. I wasn't quite expecting that, but that's all right. This is not where I was intending to stop, but we're making a little pit stop, one because of coffee, And two, I have almost no service down in Ferndale. It's one of the few little things I don't like about Ferndale. I have Visible as a service provider, and they run off of the Verizon network. They're a Verizon company, and from what the locals are telling me, it is the worst service to have. Apparently T-Mobile's a little bit better. So I really can't even check my email when I'm in Ferndale. It's a little disturbing. But for some reason out here I have just a little bit of service, so I'll check my messages and email before we head on. And I'll take an opportunity just to drink a little bit of my coffee here. One reason that I like Mind's Eye, that coffee shop that I stopped at here, is that it's just such a unique place. And then, of course, the other reason is they make just really good coffee. They're always consistently good. And I have not had a lot of lattes lately, so I'm going to enjoy this a little bit extra. Well, that there is just a glorified outhouse, so it's not the nicest thing, but it's usually always clean, and it's nice that it's there, just having the option. There's no running water up here, so just keep that in mind if you do come up here. And it looks like the fog is rolling in a little bit heavier now. It'll make my little plans here interesting, but I like the fog, so let's carry on. We're going to go over to the next parking lot over and park over there, I think. Oh yeah, and I did check messages. There weren't any. Nobody cares. So apparently this spot exists because there used to be a top secret military base out here, and then it got converted into public land. This is managed by Bureau of Land Management, and that is the larger parking lot. It does have the little pit toilet, and then we're going to just pop over to the smaller parking lot, which is just a few hundred feet away, for no other reason than just to make my little jaunt that I'm going to embark upon a little bit shorter. But the two parking lots are actually connected by a trail, and there's farmland here that I'm not quite sure how that works, but there's farmland here that's either part of the BLM, or maybe they rent it out, or maybe it's privately owned. I'm not really sure. But if you walk through the trail, you do have to go through some cow gates, close them behind you, because there's lots of livestock around this area. So this is the smaller of the two parking lots. It does get a little jammed up here if you do come out here during the week, especially during the summertime. This parking lot will fill right up. Usually later in the day. If you come in the morning, it's usually not too bad, but that's because it's usually always foggy here. And look at that fog. That is really cool, watching it roll in over the cliff. That is so cool. Okay, so we're going to take the little trail down, and you do see those warning signs there. The earthquake I was mentioning before, I think, caused a little bit of the trail to give way, and there were some more warning signs recently here, but I think they're all gone now. So we're going to go, see, we're right here at Fleener Creek, and we're just going to go right down the cliff and walk down to the ocean. It's a nice little hike, and one of my favorites. Actually, before we do that, I usually always forget to take water with me. Let's not make this that time. So let me grab some water, maybe a snack, and then we'll go down the trail. Okay, I'm not going to be gone that long. Well, not planning on being gone that long, so do some water and a Lara bar. This is a chocolate peanut caramel truffle Lara bar. They're date-based. These are actually pretty good. They're nice and soft, and they're almost like a brownie. Be kind of like a peanut brownie. I really like these. I think that's my last one. That'll be good. And, oh no. I always have trouble with this thing. Let's see. Is that, no, that works. There we go. Hey, I did it. Almost psyched myself out there. The first time I walked this trail, I got down to the edge of the cliff and looked and saw how steep the trail was, and I almost chickened out. I went back to the van, drank some water, made a little food, and then I got thinking, you know, I'm here, I might as well just go down the trail, even if it is tough and wears me out. And then I went down the trail, and it's really not that bad. It does look a little steep, though, from the top, but it zigzags back and forth. So it's really not a difficult trail, although there is a little bit of elevation gain, obviously. And now this is one of my favorite trails. That is, except during the summertime, because when the sun is out and it's warm, you will see snakes. And I'm not a big fan of snakes. There, I've said it. These stairs apparently went away at one point, but somebody has been back here and has done some work on them, rebuilt them. See how long they last. But it's cool that people take such pride out here and rebuild stuff and keep stuff accessible for all of us to check out. Just an amazing, amazing place out here. Except when there's snakes. That should go without saying. Oh, some of the fog is blowing away, and the sun is peeking out, and I'm thinking I may need to lose a sweater in a second. Hey, look at that. Are those pelicans? Those are pelicans. Well, there's a few birds down there, but wow, that's cool. I really like pelicans. I don't know why, but I really like pelicans. Pelicans and owls are my two favorite animals. What do you think? Do you think they're gonna fly off when I walk down there and get closer? Or will I get a closer look at them? I've never been too close to a pelican. They are pretty big, though. I know that much. So I don't know if they're gonna be scary right up close or not. I mean, I imagine they could, pinch you, that big beak. I don't think that they would be necessarily dangerous, but I can't fly, so they've got a slight advantage on me. Okay, I see. There is some more damage to this trail. So the trail used to kind of curve around here, and then it gets you down pretty close to the beach. I think there was a 3 or 4 foot drop that you kind of had to just scramble down a little bit. But that drop is more than 3 or 4 feet. I guess it's not too bad, but yeah, apparently there's been a little bit of washout, or maybe had something to do with the earthquake. I don't know. I don't know about the earthquake thing. I'm just guessing that maybe the earthquake had something to do with the trail eroding away. I do think that the earthquake caused that part of the cliff to collapse. It's a little worse actually over just beyond where I parked too. Yeah, this isn't too bad. So I put my new boots on. These are barefoot style boots. They don't have a whole lot of tread on them. They are fairly grippy, but there's not a lot of tread. So when I get into kind of loose dirt and sand, it makes it a little more tricky. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. I have more grip than I thought with these shoes. Good job, wildling. You're serving me well so far. Well, this trail's a little bit more difficult than it used to be because the cliff is kind of washed out a bit here, but still pretty good, not bad at all. And now, time to get rid of the sweater. Okay, that's better. I was burning up there. Got the sweater on the backpack, and this is actually not really a sweater. It's supposed to be an undershirt, but it's 100% merino wool, and it's quite warm. It's actually pretty good when the weather gets a little bit warm and then cools down a little bit. It kind of regulates pretty well, but if you're moving around in the sun, it can get a little bit warm. So we'll leave that off for now, and let's go walk around. I wonder if those pelicans are still here. Oh, the pelicans are gone. All we have are seagulls left. I really never get tired of coming down here. Been down here several times, and every time I'm just always wowed beyond belief. It feels a little bit like a Jurassic Park kind of thing. Just a different world kind of feeling. Just so awesome down here. As usual, the water usually sneaks up on me. I was staring off into the distance and got a little bit wet feet, which is probably not the greatest thing because these new shoes I'm wearing are 100% wool. So they're fairly water resistant, but they're certainly not waterproof. I guess this is a good test for them today to see how they fare. I don't notice any water has gotten inside. My feet are totally dry. I am wearing wool socks too, so it's not like it's a big deal if they do get wet. But I should pay more attention. Every now and then, I wish I had a little backpacking chair that I could just tie to my backpack and have to sit on the beach like this, but luckily I don't need one here today because it's a little stump. So I'm going to sit down on the provided chair, catch my breath a bit here as I've been walking up and down the beach here. It's interesting, there are a few fresh footprints in the sands from this morning, it looks like, but I haven't seen a soul out here, not one person. Kind of thought that they went out that way, which would make sense because there's the other trail up the way a little bit. So you would think that maybe somebody would hike either down there to that trail or from that trail back here to make a nice big walking trail. But I haven't seen anybody, so maybe they just walk one way and get picked up. That would be cool if you had some friends to help you out, drop you off at one of them and pick you up at the other. Of course, I guess you'd have to draw straws about who gets to do the hike and who gets to have to pick everybody up and take the shuttle. Have I mentioned that I really like it out here? I just really like it out here. I was hoping if I waited around long enough, I'd make some friends with pelicans, but I haven't seen any up close. A few have flown by, but that's as much as I've seen. So guess I'm not going to make any new friends today. So maybe be a good time to head up and make some lunch. I'd like a little more yellow birds and maybe a taco or two. Well, sitting around here, I'm starting to get a little bit chilly, but I'm sure the walk up the hill will take care of that. Probably get me hungry too, as if I'm not already hungry. I always have a bit of a problem. I really need to just take my time when I go up a trail, if I'm going up an elevation, but I never do. I just power through, and then when I get to the end, I am tuckered out. I just wanted to see what the elevation gain is, because I don't remember. Seems like I do this every time. I am not seeing an elevation gain. It just says how long it is, how long of a trail it is. I'll have to look up and see if I can find something online. It's a little bit of a hill, And it wouldn't be bad if I would just take my time, but I never do that. Old dogs, you know. Old dogs learning new tricks, as they say. Oh, that's not exactly what they say, though, is it? Something about they can't, I think. I'm too tired. I want to take a little 10-minute nap before I do anything else. Well, I made a little bit of an error. I forgot to turn my vent fan on. And so it's just a little kind of stuffy in here. You can do that now, but the funny thing about forgetting to turn it on is my control broke the other day. And the control was on the fritz for a while, and I had ordered a new one, this one here that you see. And as soon as I opened up the package when I got it, I ordered it off Amazon. And I was looking at several things, like price for one, and availability was another one. The one I was going to buy was going to be shipped, I think, in 3 to 4 weeks. And so I went and searched for a different one and saw this one, ordered it. And as soon as I got it out of the package, I realized I bought the wrong one. I wanted one that had a dual switch on it, so I could, when I turned it on, I could either turn it on to pull air out of the van or pull air into the van. And that's the way these fans are set to work anyway. And this one just has one switch. So I was a little annoyed with myself, and I didn't install it until, what did I do this yesterday? I just installed this yesterday because I wanted the dual switch. But being that the old one finally just gave out, I went ahead and put this one in, and I realized all of a sudden that I had the switch already. I had the old switch from the old unit, so I just pulled it apart and wired it in. This control works better than the old one. It seems to be a little better quality, so there's a plus there. And then I just have this switch that's dangling because I didn't know what to do with it. I don't have a way to mount it over here. So it's just here, but it works. I can choose which way the fan moves the air, so it's all done now. And like I said, this one works better than the old one. Sometimes I can be stubborn about things, and I should have did this a while ago, but it's done now and it works. So it's kind of silly that I didn't turn it on. It's silly that I forgot to turn it on when I left the van. I'm going to lay down for a couple of minutes and then lunch. Okay, so I am sufficiently cooled down and rested up a little bit, and I put my sweater back on because there's a little bit of a cool breeze blowing in. So trying to stay comfortable. I'm happy about the cool breeze though, make no mistake. So I forgot that I had found some tortillas that I liked and bought them, stuck them down in the fridge, and then forgot about them. So I'm going to use them up. I'll use them for lunch here today. I'm going to make some taquitos. So that'll fry these, and that'll make them a little more palatable since they are a little bit dried out since I did forget about them for a while. And I have some ground beef that I had prepped up the other day and put aside. So that'll help this whole scenario. And I think I'm going to, I'm going to use some coconut oil to fry them in, mostly because I'm almost out of olive oil. I need to buy some olive oil. A few things I need to put on the list and get to the grocery store for. I think, Yellowbird was the other one. How could I forget that? I'm really running out of Yellowbird. I've got enough for lunch though, probably. You know, it's the goofiest thing. The other day, the same day that the fan control broke, my lighter for my stove broke. So I've been using an electronic lighter. See, this one here. And it was really inexpensive. I bought it off of Amazon, and it works really good, but it's pretty cheap. And it just fell apart. I put some tape on it to hold it back together. It still works, but there's a little screw that fell out of the end here that keeps the little handle onto the body of the lighter, and the screw just popped out. and I tried to catch it, but it fell on the floor, and I've looked and looked and looked, and I cannot find it. I mean, the screw is tiny. It's like a little jeweler's screw. So it's no wonder that I can't find it. But I've swept twice since, and you'd think that I'd sweep it up or at least notice it somewhere. Don't know where it went. So I'm not so sure that the tape is going to hold on this one. And the battery has been getting bad on this one too. So this one's now back up in case I need to use it. But I just don't think it's going to hang quite so well. I'm afraid the tape's going to let loose and it's just going to fall out the door. So I found a new one, and this one's much better made. It was at a TJ Maxx store here in town, and it was only $7. There's some nice things about this one. There's also some not great things about this one. I don't like the flexible neck on this one. Like, I get that it would be helpful if you were using this to light a candle, if it was down in a container, but I don't light candles. I don't use candles. I'm just using it with my stove. So having the flexible part just doesn't really make any sense for me. In fact, it's a little bit annoying because when I hang it up, it tends to, get bent out of place. And you wouldn't think that would be such a big deal, but you have to be careful with these things. If you touch the end of these to metal, they arc funny. I don't know if it would make them break or if they just arc funny, but you kind of want to just make sure that you know where you're pointing it because of that weird little issue. But yeah, it seems to be a lot better made, and it has USB-C charging for it, which is a plus for me. I've been trying to get rid of all the USB-C micro plugs like the last one was. Yeah, I'm talking a little bit, and now I'm smoking my pan up. I guess it's warmed up enough I can put the oil in. Okay, so frying up taquitos is kind of a double process. First, we're going to do a quick fry on the corn tortilla here. And this is just going to soften it up and make it a little more malleable so we can roll it. Okay, so I've got 4 of these tortillas kind of pre-fried up. And I'm only doing 4 because I think that's all I can really fit in my pan since I've got kind of a small pan. I'm going to turn this off for right now just so I don't overheat my oil. That'll sit for a minute and then I can get to the filling here. I think I'm going to add a little bit of something to this ground beef because this is just beef with salt. That's all it is. So I'm going to flavor it up with some leftover pizza sauce I made and some chili powder just to give it a little more flavor. Of course, we will use the yellow bird too, but this will just be for dipping. I probably should have moved to the other parking lot, the bigger parking lot across the street road. You can tell I'm a city guy, can't you? Because it's starting to fill up here. There's a bunch of people parked here now. It's getting kind of late afternoon, early evening, so that's not surprising. Usually people show up here a little bit later. Okay, so I've just added some ancho chili powder into the ground beef here, and then just a little bit of some pizza sauce. I like a little tomato with my filling. I got to be careful though, because if I do too much, it'll leak out and then it will start spattering and sputtering when we fry these off. So I'll just add a little bit here. There was a car parked next to me and they came walking back up and started laughing because I was talking to myself. It's kind of embarrassing. They probably thought I was just talking to myself. They didn't realize I was talking to all of you. I guess I could have invited them over for dinner, but I decided not to. Okay, now I've got some toothpicks here. I'm going to try to fill these taquitos and then pin them closed and then fry them. Probably I'm ready enough that I can turn my pan back on, get my oil heated back up. One of these days I need to find a bug strain because I got a bunch of flies in here and they are really bothersome. Okay, so I've got a little bit of filling in here. I really do prefer shredded beef instead of ground beef for taquitos, but this is what I've got, so this is what I'm using. You know, one of my pet peeves is when somebody tells me, oh, why didn't you use this, or why didn't you add this into whatever you're cooking? It's like, I'm in a minivan. This is my kitchen space. This is it. I don't have any more space. It's not like I'm living in the bazaar at Marrakesh and I can just pop over and buy whatever ingredient I need. This is all I've got for space. So, you know, a lot of times I just don't have things. Even things that I would normally eat, I just don't have things on hand because I just don't have space for everything. So I usually say now and then, I'm not going to the store. I'm just gonna use what I have and make do. And if I really miss something, I could run to the store, but what's the point in that? I'm really trying to cut my driving down. So that's really my main focus, is just don't drive around for things that you don't need. Just make do with what you've got, and learn to be a little more self-sufficient. I think this is going to work out pretty close to using up all of that ground beef. That's good. I think I did turn my pan on a little bit too soon, though. I'm not working fast enough because I'm talking, or I'm just slow. Probably both. That worked out just about perfectly with the amount of beef I had left. Now I'm going to go in here and fry these up a little bit. I'll fry them on both sides, and then I like them to be nice and crispy all the way around. So once they get fried on both sides, I'll actually pull the toothpick out and fry them on the side that the toothpick is going through. Does that make sense? I think it does. Well, you get the idea probably. This is not really the correct way to make taquitos, but this is the way I make it because, again, I'm in a minivan. I don't have a lot of space to prep stuff. So I don't bother with worrying about doing this and doing that. I just do the best I can. They always turn out really good anyway. Okay, they're coming along. I'm getting a little impatient because I'm kind of hungry now, but I think it's best just to take your time and get them nicely browned and crispy on all sides. They could use maybe another minute or two, but I'm getting hungry, so I'm just going to be impatient and get at them now. These were taquitos, I should say, were my favorite meal as a kid, and I would always judge restaurants whether they had them on the menu or not. I'm just going to set my hot pan in my sink so I don't have to worry about maybe scalding myself. Yeah, so I always wanted to go to a restaurant that had taquitos on the menu. Unfortunately, I am from an area that is known for really good traditional Mexican food, and these are not really thought of as being traditional Mexican food, and so they weren't on most menus where I am from. And so I was always kind of upset about the restaurants we would go to. My family really wanted to go to traditional places, and I wanted to go to places that had taquitos on the menu. You can see the problem there. But of course now I can make them whenever I want to make them. And these are okay. They are better with shredded beef or shredded pork or whatever. I don't eat chicken, so I'm not gonna use that. But these should be good. Now I am going to use some Yellowbird to spice them up because I normally like these with guacamole. That's where they're the best, I think. You got some guacamole and some hot sauce. They're really good that way. But I haven't been able to find any avocado, getting back to the whole, I can't always just find everything. So I don't have any avocado, so those will have to be good. And sriracha is not really my favorite. I don't normally like sweet hot sauce. It's an oxymoron. but I'm going to try it this time because I'm running out of my second favorite, and I'm out of my current favorite. So I thought about using the habanero, but this one is really spicy. But I got this out just because this is kind of an annoyance, right? This is the size bottle I normally buy. So this is a 9.8 ounce size bottle of Yellowbird. All fine and good. Most co-ops and REI stores sell this. Hard to find Yellowbird in a lot of regular stores, but I mean, you know, I find it usually in REI and most co-ops. That's where I normally buy it. And I think it's $7 at REI, and same with most co-ops. $7, $6.99. Now this is from Walmart, and this is a 6.7 ounce bottle. So big difference between the two. And somebody did the math on these and told me that at least according to the math, the Walmart bottles work out to be a better price per ounce. The trouble is, I just bought this a few days ago, really, and I'm 2/3 of the way through it. So how is it really less expensive if I've got to drive back to Walmart again to buy another bottle? And I kind of wonder if that was a Walmart decision to have a smaller bottle to get people to shop more. Because, you know, they want you in the store so that you see other things and buy other things. That's what I think. I think it's a whole thing that Walmart has come up with to get us to get back into Walmart more often, and I don't want to do it. So I'm going to just leave this one for right now, and I'm going to try the sriracha, which is my least favorite, but I'm going to give it a try. Let's see. Too hot. And I don't mean caliente spicy. That's actually pretty good. This is the first time I've had the sriracha and have enjoyed it. I guess I'll just use the sriracha today and use up this little bottle that I have. Oh, those were very good. The one problem is I really could have used maybe 4 or 5 more of them because I'm still a little hungry, and they were so tasty I could have just kept on eating as well. You know, when I finish eating a meal and I don't immediately want a cup of coffee, I know that meal was really good. It seems like the meals that I eat that are just kind of mediocre, I immediately want a cup of coffee. But a good meal, I like to savor a little bit. That's what I'm feeling like right now. I don't really crave a cup of coffee. Of course, I still want one. I am who I am anyway. Let's take a little walk around. You know, good for digestion and all, right? The thought that I keep getting is it would be really nice to go back down there, but I also keep thinking I don't really want to have to climb back up the hill again. So I think we'll just enjoy it from up here. The view is pretty nice, though. I think you would admit. I know I keep saying this, but I really like it out here. It's just such a cool place. It's so beautiful, and yet it's so unknown. If you talk to people about the Lost Coast, just ask somebody, have you ever heard of the Lost Coast? I mean, it's a good time for me to ask you right now. Have you ever heard of the Lost Coast? This whole area of California? It's just an incredible place, and nobody seems to know about it. And so you've got this whole place to yourself almost. It's just incredible. Yeah, it's getting chilly, so that means it's coffee time. Let's make a quick cup here and then get back out and enjoy some more views. There's just so much good about this whole area. I just go on and on. I understand I'm probably boring you all about how great this is, I keep saying. But, you know, I'm saying that because I really hope that you get a chance to come out here and enjoy the area yourself. There's only so much that you can see on camera, and the rest of it you've really got to experience. And if you've got a better vehicle than I do, if you can get down into the Lost Coast, we're just barely in the little edge of it here, northern edge of it here. If you can get farther down into the Lost Coast, it's just a whole nother world down there, and even fewer people in a lot of the areas. Now that we have our nice warming coffee, we can go back out in the chilly weather, and it's not really that chilly out, but it's more of an excuse to make a cup of coffee. But we'll go out and sit at one of the little park benches out here and take in a little more view. Maybe I should have used the top. I'm spilling coffee. That's not good. You know, because the mug is so small, I usually fill it right up to the very top, and then I tend to spill a little bit. Oh well. Well, the sun is back out, so it's feeling not quite so chilly as it was a couple of minutes ago. Feeling good. What an incredible day today has been. Just fantastic weather today. I think the high was supposed to be 63, and it felt like it most of the day, except for a little bit when I was in the sun going down the hill, hiking down the hill, well, hiking back up too, felt a little bit warmer, but all in all, just been a very cool and pleasant day today. Just an amazing day, and some pretty amazing coffee today as well. Well, it's almost 7 o'clock, which means I need to get a move on. I've got laundry to do, and I think that means I need to get back into Eureka. One of the few things that I don't recommend about Ferndale is the local laundromat. Better ones are found in other places, just to put it nicely. So I won't be staying around Ferndale here, which would be preferable, but unfortunately the laundry is going to take precedent, or else I'm going to not have any place to go. The back of my van is full of dirty laundry. I'm not making any euphemisms there. It's just dirty laundry. Once a month I've got to take care of that, so probably do that tomorrow. So better get on the road, get back into Eureka, and hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.